So, Katie Hopkins, thank you so much for joining us. What do you want to tackle first? I mean, just the incredible assault on free speech.
First up, Laura Ingram. You know, one of the really important things is that you never apologize. Never apologize. It only encourages them. The minute you come out and say sorry, the first thing they're going to say back to you is, oh, well, your sorry was too late. Oh, your sorry was only sorry because now you're losing your sponsors. Your sorry wasn't good enough. If you thought about what you said, you wouldn't be sorry. So saying sorry never works. It's the worst strategy Fox could have adopted to try and protect her. And I think what we need to do more of is look for sponsors and commercial partners who are allies, who will stand with us no matter what our personal views are. I think it's disgusting that certain brands like TripAdvisor or Hulu or whatever have decided that in order to appease David Hogg, a small child, they will withdraw sponsorship from lovely Laura Ingram, who's a fighter. She's a foster mother. She's a great woman. And I think these sponsors need to be targeted in the same way we did with Hannity and others to say, no, you are not going to decide the agenda here in this nation. You are just a corporate making money by selling products. Do what you do and sell your products and shut up.
You're absolutely right, but I happen to know the inside baseball on Fox and the coup they had with Ailes and then how they got rid of O'Reilly and how they're trying to get rid of Hannity. The Sons want to segue it into being more like CNN. They've said that. They're liberals. Look at Fox programming, the rest of it's very globalist. I mean, look what it does there in the UK. So it's kind of a mixed bag. But they want to act like these hosts are getting destroyed because of their own action, and they want to be able to intimidate their host to convince their audience to kind of do what Glenn Beck did and sell out. So that's the process is they want Fox News to basically kill itself, but they don't want to get the blame. And so that's why they have these corporate guys advise them to do something which they know, just like Tiger Woods apologizing, will destroy them. So Laura Ingram is being marched in front of a firing squad by Fox. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're fine. I agree with you, absolutely, in fact. And many of the times that I've worked on various outlets, when I had my own radio show, you know, it's the most performing, best listened to commercial radio show. And then your bosses love the fact that you're the best performing show, that you have the most listeners. But the moment any kind of flashback happens, any kind of, you know, horror story, a tweet that I did that nobody liked, whatever, the bosses are so quick to run away to say, oh, no, we'll let her go. And I think that's it. This whole kind of media, the place we try and base ourselves, you and I, it lacks spine. It lacks backbone. It lacks the guys that employ you that say, I stand with her. These are her opinions. We've employed her for them. We're happy with her on the good days and we'll stand by her on the bad days. And we don't have enough platforms just like that.
Well, that's right. And there are a lot of good people at Fox, by the way, and I know you do some work with them. I'm sure you have your own inside baseball. It's just that is one way that Fox lost a bunch of its viewers about a year and a half ago, but they came back because Fox then got more hardcore again. And that's what the people want, and it's the truth. If you watch Tucker Carlson or watch you or anybody that's on Fox, it all makes perfect sense, and that's why people are watching.
I think Tucker is this kind of ray of light. He's kind of my hope. In all of the media landscape that we have, Tucker is my kind of inspiration for the sort of show that we know Americans want, and the British people would love a show like Tucker. You know, being on the other night with Mark Stein, with Jordan Peterson, I was bringing my report live from Skid Row. You know, that's the sort of outlet we need, where people are just telling their truths, and the American people can decide whether they agree with them or they disagree. Too many of our media outlets seem to think we need to be able to agree to even show each other. You know, there was never a bar that said we have to agree before we can even stand, you know, sit at the table together. We don't need to agree to be able to share our views.
That's right. I want to get into your book when we come back in the next segment, but getting into Skid Row, that's pretty dangerous, one of the most dangerous places in the world. And all these leftist cities, wherever they're in control, it is just crap all over the ground, needles, things falling apart, disease, like you said, bubonic plague, hepatitis, and you went and spent several days in the middle of this, and then the media criticized you for pointing out it should be cleaned up. When you let these giant sores grow, it feeds into the crime, and they know the demographics, they know the history.
I think two things there. One is that downtown LA, 5th and 6th, it's in the heart of downtown. And yet everyone turns a blind eye. Oh, you don't go there. You don't want to go there. It's nasty down there. Even the hotels have covered it over on their maps with a sticker. Like, if you don't see it, maybe it will go away. 2, Democrats love to talk about dreamers and sanctuary city because, of course, it sounds like a spa resort. No, Democrats, the reality is this is your Skid Row. This is your mess, and I'm walking around ankle high in human waste, effluent, and rats. The rats there are streaming over the road. They gather around your ankles. And my point about the bubonic plague is, if you look at a description of London in the 1600s, right before the outbreak of the bubonic plague, that is Skid Row now. And tears and sympathy are not going to cut it. We need military action in there, and we need to clear up those streets. And out of respect for people who are truly lost, we need to help put them into situations, residents, where they can be medically looked after. We shut the sanatoriums and we let these people drown, and that's not good enough. But I also think, I wasn't that scared there. I've just come back from South Africa looking at the genocide of white farmers in South Africa. They've only got about 3 years left, we think, that we'll have white farmers still in South Africa. So in a way, Skid Row seems relatively friendly compared to South Africa and the white farmers that are being killed there.
And that's what's wild is I have these farmers on. You talk to them, and the president's saying we're going to take your land. The communist leader says we're going to kill you. The military leader says we're going to kill you. Then they make jokes like, hey, good luck getting out of here. And then they say in the news that the president did that. Well, we'll come back and talk about it. It's just incredible. And I want to get your take on it, that Australia's racist for offering to take refugees. So it's like, we're going to kill you. We're going to take your land. And by the way, you can't escape. I mean, the black racism is so horrible now. It's like, no quarter. We're going to kill your men, women, and children, and we're not going to let you escape. And if anybody takes you, they're racist. We're going to kill you. I wanted to get Katie Hopkins on for years, and we finally got her. And she didn't want to talk about her book that's out. She just wants to talk about topics. And every time I see this lady, it's just everything she's saying is veritas. It's true. I cover the news every day. I know what she's talking about. And it's when she gets into the genocide of the white farmers that happened everywhere else in Africa, and it's now happening again, and the left is praising it. And I see all the crazy anti-white stuff being taught at colleges and about how whites are inherently evil. If you're a white woman, abort your white baby in major feminist magazines. And then I forgot another reason I wanted to get her on is the assassination of Katie Hopkins, state-sponsored national theater opening in a Welsh area. And it's about killing her, and she's had an attempt on her life. And don't forget all the other nationalists that have been killed, murdered in Europe. So this is next level, where Sadiq Khan is having women banned off Twitter, that challenge him about genital mutilation. And then Katie Hopkins, because she is empowered, she is strong, she is smart, she's a woman, they're saying we want her dead and wanting to have that state-sponsored. It's just like Hillary coming out and saying white women voted because their husbands told them to. And then Hillary's in the news again yesterday. I've got a clip later after she leaves us saying that, yeah, these white women are dumb. That is the most bizarre statement I've ever, most condescending. They're saying conservative women aren't voting conservative because their husbands told them to. They're doing it because they like guns and property, and they're executives, and they own things, and they're in charge. They're the powerful women. The leftist women are a bunch of chicken neck idiots, in my experience, just like the men. Katie, I'm sorry, but it's true. Go ahead. Conservative women are awesome. I want women to be powerful and in charge. That's sexy. Sorry.
I know. I agree with you so much. And I always feel about this. Hillary Clinton had no hope because she wanted to play us all as victims. She wanted women to be victims, Spanish people to be victims, LGBT. She wanted to be the ambassador for victims everywhere. And conservative women like myself, white, Christian, conservative women, we always say we stand with Trump because we stand up for our right to speak freely. We stand up for your right to bear arms. I'm a card-carrying member of the NRA right now. And I say I would much rather be grabbed by the pussy than have a pussy for president. And I'm proud to stand there with my American sisters because I know we're strong.
Well, and again, they spun this in my whole custody battle that I said it was okay for Trump to grab women. But the media misrepresented that he raped women. Trump was saying, like at an Elvis Presley concert, if women are climbing on top of you, it's like, wow, they let you do whatever they want. Well, yeah, that's the point. When a woman jumps on you with both arms, their legs around you, that means that's a mammal's mating. And so they semantically spin everything.
That's a hint that we like you. And never, ever imagine that women are done too. I say, screw you, me too. I've been very in control of my sexual history. I'm proud of my adventurous sexual history. And no one's ever grabbed me where I didn't want them to. If I wanted to be grabbed, you'd be grabbing me and you wouldn't know why, because I will have manipulated you to do it. Women are much tougher, much stronger, much better at this game than men. And if Trump got lucky a few times with some women with ridiculous boobs down on their knees, go Trump. We would rather have someone sexually active who's a regular guy than some politician who's dry humping a sheep in his back garden because he has no social life. So I stand with Trump. I tell women...
Yeah, Trump's not branding women and at Aleister Crowley rituals, drinking blood and semen. You know, he's got a bunch of kids and been married and red-blooded. I mean, and he never said he was a preacher. It'd be one thing if he was Mr. Preacher and then we caught him doing that stuff. He said, this is who I am.
Got balance right there in the executive. You've got Mike Pence. So if you don't like a guy that's sleeping with women with huge knockers who call themselves crazy names like Stormy Daniels, then you've got Mike Pence. Look to him. He's a very straight, Christian, conservative guy. You've got balance there in the executive. And women like Me Too, where are those women? Where are you for the Iran women doing their protest without the burqa? Where are you when I've got assassination of Katie Hopkins going on? Where are you for the girls who are having their clitorises ripped off by their family members for their religion? Where are you? Western feminists have never been more disappointing.
And they want you dead because you're powerful, you're vibrant, and I'm married, but I got to say, you are pretty sexy. I mean, I like women like, I don't know how to describe it, who are like the feminists want to be tough, but they don't get like the women I grew up around or my grandmas or anybody, you know, like kind of stomping around in charge, but not in charge because they wanted to be in charge. They were in charge because they were alive and they were awesome.
Yeah. Well, if you think I'm sexy, I will say I think you need your eyes tested. But I do think strong women are really fun to be around. And the reason my government is sponsoring a play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, I don't think you look bad. My point is it's attitudes what matters. You have light in your eyes. You have light in your eyes. I watched all these feminists that were at this feminist meeting with Hillary yesterday, and they look like they're zombies. It's not that they're even ugly. They look like something sucked their soul.
The reason the state wants to run the play called The Assassination of Katie Hopkins is because it would be much more convenient for them if that were true. One of the things the state loves is fear. They can control people when they're afraid. When you have someone like me who is not afraid of anyone, not the establishment, not the state, that's far more dangerous. And it would be much better for them if I wasn't around. So we had 2 jihadis sent down earlier this year because they had practiced beheading me with a dummy, with a plastic dummy and a hunting knife. So the threat against my life is real. And now the state is sponsoring a play called exactly that. What would happen if I got a poster with the assassination of Sadiq Khan or the assassination of a black politician? How would that go down, do you think?
Oh, it would be the biggest hissy fit the planet ever saw.
Absolutely. I would be banned from everything within a moment because it's the assassination of white Christian conservative woman who's passionate about her country and passionate about people's right to stand up for their country. It's seen as acceptable and, in fact, wildly amusing for the liberal elite.
Well, I've talked to some top entertainment lawyers in Hollywood and some people in Washington, and I said, what is the point of them lying about me and saying all this stuff? And he said, you don't get it. They're trying to create an atmosphere where Christians and conservatives and libertarians get killed. They've already done it in Europe. And with what they're doing with you, saying kill you, that's what this is. I mean, they are literally trying to create an atmosphere where they have this political intimidation, just like the brown shirts did in Nazi Germany.
We have a situation where Theresa May, for example, our prime minister, is getting rid of Russian spies from our country or Russian diplomats because of the issue with a couple of Russian spies being killed. You know, my message to people, if you want to stay alive, maybe don't be a Russian spy. I mean, just an idea for you there. And she moans about that. But the hypocrisy is, when they arrest someone like me or a leader of a kind of nationalist party, they throw them in our prisons and they let the Muslims at them. We just had that with Paul Golding from Britain First. Whether you agree with his policies, whether you hate him, there is no reason why you should be taking a man who's known for standing up for Britain and throw him in our jails and let the Muslims at him. They just broke his face. And that's the way our state gets rid of and dispatches people it doesn't want. It puts them inside and lets the Muslim population at them. And we had that with a guy who threw some bacon at a mosque, which admittedly is a ridiculous thing. He was killed in our prisons. He never came out again. And that's how they dispatch the people they don't want. So we are no better than the Russians. The government dispatches people it doesn't want, just in the same way as it's now sponsoring a play for the dispatch of me.
Well, there's also mafia rules to spycraft, and the Russians probably didn't even do this. It looks like a false flag. Why would they use a nerve agent track back to them? But if you're a former GRU colonel and then you defect and give secrets, isn't that we kill traitors, right? I mean, I don't understand that. Like, oh my God, they killed one of our traitors. I mean, that's upside down world. That's what they do here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. You're fine. I'm just agreeing with you, really. I think, you know, when we have this big hullabaloo made about kind of a couple Russian spies being bumped off or whatever, or another guy, a Russian spy that was impaled on railings or found in a bag in his bath. Sure, that's going to happen. You know, there is retribution out there in life. If you failed your state, if you failed to stand up for your country, if you're a traitor, probably you're not going to meet a great end. But it's a typical way of our politicians looking away from the problems right on our doorstep and talking about something that's much more convenient. You know, we don't address the issue of Muslim grooming gangs. We're not even allowed to say the word Muslim grooming gang. We have to use a euphemism like Asian. So we throw half of Taiwan, all of the Sikhs, you know, half of China under the bus just so that we don't offend the Pakistani rapists who are raping our children. We don't want to give them hurty feelings.
Now, I don't want to get this wrong. I'm just going from memory. I'm always reading about you banned on this, banned on that, but I see your Twitter's up and got close to 1 million followers. Tell folks how they can follow you there, because I'm going to tell you, I'm a huge fan. People ask what I do in my spare time. I watch the videos you're doing, others, and again, we know why you're so effective, because they want to kill you.
Thank you. So, yeah, people, I'm still on Twitter. Twitter has been gracious enough to leave me on there, but I'm capital K, capital T, Hopkins. That's my Twitter. Please do follow me there. All of my stuff is there. I overshare on a regular basis. All my reporting's there. And at hopkinsworld.com. And I'm very grateful for this huge army of people that are supporting me. And I'm going to be speaking at the first anniversary event for the Manchester bombing. I will be there. I will be standing up there. It's another Speaker's Corner type event. And I will be rallying the people of Britain who know that it's time for us to stand up for our country and to stop tiptoeing around the cultures that choose to join us and start standing up for the culture that they chose to join.
Wow, I just love this lady. We'll be right back with the third hour, a little bit more with our guest. Stay with us. All right, folks, Katie Hopkins is here, and she gets me really excited because she's so on target, and I do my customary jumping in. But guess what? She's going to host the next segment, because I want to hear what her top-rated UK show was like before they tried to get rid of it because of what she was up to. But I did misspeak at an interview saying that she'd been banned on Twitter. I just remember seeing that headline, and so many others have been banned on Twitter. You're going to cover some other key topics in the next segment, and then I'm going to come back. But I wanted to ask you now, what do you expect them to do? Because as you pointed out, they're trying to censor you, they're trying to kill you, they're trying to block me, they're trying to censor us, everybody else. But the momentum is building against them. The Streisand effect is taking place. So what do you think the globalists, the global left, their alliance with Islam, as humanity awakens to this authoritarian threat, what are they going to do as they understand they're losing more and more?
Well, I think what we need to focus on is not what they're going to do, but what we're going to do. And I'm very clear about that. Now, they can label us, you and I, Alex, any other of the network of people that we know we're a part of. And we don't need to see each other. We don't need to stand in a line. We know we belong to this network because we can feel it. I feel it with conservatives in America. We're like spiders on an invisible web, and that web is really strong. And what we do, Alex, is when they call me all the names they call me a racist, an Islamophobe, a bigot, a fattist, a misogynist. Yeah, sure, okay, I'll be all those things. But guess what? Here I am on Skid Row, and here's my truth. And here's a gentleman vomiting in the street, and here I am ankle deep in sewage, and here I am recovering from Hep C. And so they cannot argue with our truths, Alex. And the more we present to them our truths, so I spent 3 weeks in South Africa with white farmers, and I allow a lady to tell me the story how she was raped by 3 men, or how a lady whose husband was shot and then her 6-year-old child offered her piggy bank if the killers would let her mummy live. They cannot argue with those truths, Alex. And it doesn't matter what labels they put on you, our stories will be told. And they can't silence that. And I can feel this resurgence coming. I can feel it in the UK. And I will help lead it. And I will help get our country to start to stand up again.
Wow. I know why they fear you so much, and I'm not. Listeners know I don't just gush over guests constantly, but you're so on target, you're so truthful, and there is that spirit of us that are nationalist, that are free market, and then those that love communism and socialism, they just seem like their soul sucked. I'm not just bashing them just to bash them. They have existential envy of anything strong and good and want to pull it down when they should have the instinct to try to be strong and good themselves. But there's something twisted in them, and you can't seem to get them to unflip the switch.
No. And so what we do is we do better than them. Leave them there. Leave those bitter women over there complaining with their pussy marches and their banners. You know, I watched them on the pussy marches and I asked them, ladies, tell me, why are you here? And one would say, well, I'm here because of global warming. And another would say, I'm here because my vagina is made of steel. And another one would say, I'm here because I voted Clinton. And this is not my president. And it was like, ladies, you don't even know why you're here. And very much like the Parkland school kids, you stop them on the March for Our Lives and say, why are you marching? Oh, we need weapons banned. Why are you marching? Because people were shot. Why are you marching? Because I really like David Hogg, because I like emancipated boys. Okay, fine. Again, no unified single mission, no clear aim. I think conservatives have a very clear aim. We want to make America great again. That's a clear unifying aim. And in Britain, I want to make Britain great again. And I have a clear aim. And I think that's where the left fail. And it doesn't matter what they do. Carry on, ladies. Bitch about our president, whatever. I know we're stronger. I know we're better. And I know we're about working hard to look after our families. And that's a fundamental value. And the thing with fundamental values is they endure. And that's why we will endure too.
Oh, my God. I'm in love. What about